Hi everyone, hope everybody's doing well. It's 20 something degrees here out in Buffalo, New York, and we have almost 3 feet of snow, but we have Hoyas inside. Thank you so much for watching the past 2 videos. It is surreal that those many Hoya heads were able to find my Hoyas, but yeah, let's keep on with the count for Jan 2026. We're gonna start with a pretty one. This is Hoya australis Lisa. I got this last November, I think. Yeah, got this as itty bitty baby rooted cutting. It's still in tree fern fiber. I bottom water it every now and then, and I noticed that it has started to show a couple growth sprouts right there. So I'm super duper excited. Hoya australis Lisa. It's a variegated form of Hoya australis, and this does not exist in nature naturally as a hybrid. So this is my second time with this plant. The first time it was growing really well, but then I underwatered it and it just died. So I thought that I would give it another go. I'm just waiting for this to produce the vines, leaves, and kind of like stabilize a little, and then I will transplant it into semi-hydro, maybe leca or pond. So yeah, Hoya australis Lisa. Can be finicky, can be high maintenance, but so far it's been doing okay. The damage over here is from the shipping, but it's really a pretty plant. So that's Hoya australis Lisa. Next we have Hoya Wilbur Graves China. So this one is a splashy silvery variegated version. I got this, it looks like Feb 2024, and I got this as a 2-leaf cutting, and since then it has grown out really well. As you guys can see, I have this on a homemade DIY copper circle trellis, and I just keep on winding it round and round. This is Hoya Wilbur Graves China. The silveriness on the leaves is really pretty. I do like it when it has like few silver leaves, few splashy leaves, and few plain green leaves. I don't mind it, but yeah, it's growing really well. Hoya Wilbur Graves China. And next we have Hoya endauensis. I got this fairly recently, towards the tail end of last year, 2025. I found this at a big box store, and I was super excited because I was really wanting to get one for a long time. But I am so glad that I was able to find this. This is from the Proven Winners brand company. I've purchased from them so many times. It has these undulated button-like leaves. I find them to be super duper cute and adorable. They're like almost round and have these frilly edges, margins, and it was not this long. It was probably like this tall, and it has put out all of these vines and leaves, and it sits under my Barina grow light, and yeah, I really like this plant. Hoya endauensis. I need to trellis it, obviously. That seems to be the name of the game for me, but I really like it trailing too. I wonder if the leaves, like once the vines grow leaves, they would eventually like weigh the vine down and like trail, or if it would just continue growing upright. requiring a trellis, so we'll see. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy the cuteness of this adorable plant, Hoya endauensis. Next, we have Hoya lacunosa Laos. I got this as a 2-leaf cutting, and I was struggling hard to put out roots and stuff, but once I started paying attention, it really has put a pep in its step. As you guys can see, there's a baby vine and all of these. So this is the OG leaf, and all these leaves are new under my care, and I got this March of 2025. It was totally a user error. I was not providing it enough water initially, and it was, drying out. But once I started providing it enough water and nutrients and light, it has done really well. Hoya lacunosa Laos. The next one is Hoya Java Barat. This one also was a 2-leaf cutting that I got, and I think this one might be the original leaf, one of the original leaves, and the other one is this one. But yeah, it has really beautiful splash, lacunosa Java Barat. This one also, I got this March 2025, and it's really growing well. And all of these baby ones are in passive semi-hydro in a combination of leca and pond. Just love how adorable the baby new leaves are. It's really doing well. Cannot wait for it to really bush out and branch out further. Hoya lacunosa Java Barat. Next, we have one of my favorites, Hoya mafil. So this baby, I got this as a 6-inch cutting all the way from Italy, and this was way back in 2020, I believe. And since then it has grown and grown and grown. It has multiple peduncles, and it has bloomed multiple times as well. And I have taken numerous propagations, and I have like 4 or 5 pots of this. This is one of my favorites, I would say, for Hoya beginners. This would be a great plant to start and build confidence, with the growth and stuff. It's a fairly easygoing plant. I have this one. It has 2 plants that I kind of grouped together because I was trying to save space and bundle things up. And this hangs in my south-facing window. And yeah, Hoya mafil. This is, I would consider, the main mama plant. And then another version of this on a trellis that we can barely see, on a sun trellis, and this is in soil, and this one sits in a west-facing window in my bathroom. Again, has bloomed multiple times. Look at the peduncle over there, and gives me no grief. Does get mealybugs every now and then, and I top it. I clean it up with rubbing alcohol, and also have started giving systemic pesticides to kind of be more proactive. This is kind of baby number 1. Hoya mafil Splash Silver. This one, I got it from a big box store. And even though I have a regular silver, I'll show it in a minute, I couldn't resist, and yeah, I just bought it. It's still in that nursery pot from Proven Winners, and I just put it in this cute, adorable, decorative cash pot. and I put a homemade, I don't know if you can see, DIY copper cacti inspired trellis. This is Hoya mafil splash. One of my mother Hoya mafils was sprouting a silver leaf, and so I let the vine grow out and ended up snipping it. And this was inspired by Kevin from Hakuna La Planta. I know that he has a thing for Hoya mafil silver and Hoya mafil silvers. So I cut the splashy silvery vine from the regular mafil, and then I propagated it in water, I believe, and then it just grew into this beautiful, super silvery, splashy whole plant of its own. And I put it in a leca, in a self-watering passive semi-hydro planter. And yeah, it does have, like, you know, green leaves every now and then. It does not bother me, but I don't know, if I find the energy and motivation to keep it splashy and silvery, I might come and trim those and, you know, propagate them separately. I do not have the heart to throw them out. But yeah, Hoya mafil silver. Next up we have Hoya curtisii. I really love how adorable this plant is and how overlooked it gets. The leaf shape is adorable, kind of like mini hearts, but with a pointy spade shape, and has the silver splashes on them, and it trails beautifully. And this one has a special story. So when we were living in Chesapeake, Virginia, we had a big plant group on Facebook, and this was, I think, one of my first Hoyas that I got from a local collector. I got cuttings from her and then rooted them out, and like it really grew well. And then all of a sudden it died because of underwatering, I think. And then I found another one on the group. This one person was suffering from depression and hence was trying to sell off her plants, and this was one of those. And I even offered, and this was in that group, and I even offered to kind of like plant sit, babysit until she felt better and she could like have it back. But she was also having a baby, and she was just not you know, having the energy to care for plants anymore. So this, every time I look at this, I think of her and really, you know, say a prayer that she's doing well. But yeah, this is Hoya curtisii. Really love the plant. I do have a few propagations of this, and I really like how this one looks in a cute little terracotta planter. So I'm gonna put all of those propagations in a terracotta planter for the effect. Ooh, also there seems to be a peduncle forming. I haven't really noticed it up until now. There's a tiny little peduncle forming. That's so exciting. But yeah, this is Hoya curtisii or curtisii. All right, next we have Hoya commingiana. I got this from a big box store fairly recently, towards the tail end of last year, and by the time I found this specimen at a big box store, I already got a tiny little cutting from Etsy because I wanted this for a long time. So I have that baby cutting, but I also have a nice big established plant. And let's see, this one seems to be from the company or brand called Live Trends. So it comes with a cute little pot, which is pretty heavy, and then seems to be in a chunky potting soil or mix, and it's covered with this moss of some sort. So I've just kept it in this substrate for now. because I didn't want to, trouble it too much. I wanted it to get used to my environment, and then I've noticed that this has been growing really well. It sits under a grow light and has been doing really well. So yeah, this is Hoya Kamingiana. Has really thick stems and thin leaves. So yeah, Hoya Kamingiana. And then following that, we have a variegated version of Hoya Kamingiana, and this is the outer variegated one. And if you can appreciate the color of the top leaf sets that are closer to the light, they get this beautiful pink coloring on the outer margins of the leaves, and I think that that's just so beautiful. And I got this, I think, as a tiny little cutting in March of last year, and yeah, this has grown really well. All of this is new growth, 1 year's worth of growth under my care, and it's in pond in a tiny little plastic container, and is doing really well. I would eventually like to chop and prop this so I have a bushier baby plant, and also to encourage this beauty to branch out further. But yeah, this is Hoya Kamingiana, outer variegated, very easygoing. The leaves on this one seem to feel a little thicker, a little thick and succulent like, compared to the regular green Hoya Kamingiana. But yeah, very pretty plant. Next is this Hoya UT-033. I got this plant way back in the day in 2021 maybe, and since then it has struggled, to be honest. This was in a chunky substrate in a terracotta pot for the longest, and it was, it was growing, but it was not growing fast. So I repotted it into a plastic container with leca, and seems to be adjusting well. I really did not get this for the flowers. I just got this, because of the leaves. It has nice thick chunky leaves, kind of reminiscent of a Hoya Marili, but I found out that the flowers of this are pretty unique. They're, I think, lime green. I think I heard a wild fern mention it, and that kind of added an extra push for me to transplant it or repot it into semi-hydro to get it to branch out further and to bloom, hopefully. But this is also a fairly easy going Hoya. I would say a slow grower, but that could just be my conditions and my care. But let's see if the semi-hydro setup will trigger new growth. I am planning to chop and prop this one too, to kind of make it bushy instead of lanky like this, but we'll see. This is Hoya UT-033. The next one is Hoya bertonii. Look at the massive plant. It bloomed recently. I did try to take a video. I think this was that peduncle that bloomed. Has cute little pink blooms that are adorable, and I kind of have it on this circle trellis, but also have it trailing. I really love how chunky or puffed the leaves look like. They are really chunky, like they're like girthy. This is in soil, and I bottom water it every now and then, and also fertilize it every time I water it. Really easy going. It sits in my east facing window, and seems to be a happy bloomer. There's a couple more peduncles that are getting ready, and This is, don't know if the cap, this is another one that is getting ready to bloom. Hoya bertonii. But yeah, Hoya bertonii. Up next we have Hoya bmanica. This one also was a 2-leaf wonder, and it struggled for a minute to root, but it's in pond, and this baby 2-inch cup. I bottom water it, and once I started giving it good amount of light, this, as can be seen, has really taken off. It seems like every time I close my eyes and open them, there's a bunch of leaves, new leaves, and I'm super happy, and I really love the lanceolate elongated leaf shape, and the margins also are interesting. I don't know if this is from the light. I'm pretty sure it's from the light that I'm giving it, that it has the beautiful outer margins that are sun stressed and are dark, kind of like eyeliner effect. But yeah, Hoya bmanica, really easy plant. I would say an underrated Hoya for the ease and efficiency with which it grows. Highly recommend as a beginner starter Hoya. Next we have Hoya fuaensis. I got this I believe 2024 winter from a little local shop in Florida. Got it online, but it came as a rooted baby plant, and it has been in a chunky substrate, and I kept it in a chunky substrate since then. It grew this one leaf, but I think I am going to transfer this also into semi-hydro for my care and for my watering habits, because the leaves seem to be always, I don't know, dry looking. But this is one of those Hoyas that kind of gives a Jurassic crusty vibe, for the lack of a better term to describe it. But yeah, it's just been hanging in this plastic container. Hoya fuaensis, very slow grower. It seems to have fuzzy flowers, but this has been very slow for me. So yeah, let's see if transplanting it into semi-hydro might put a pep in its step and get it to grow and bloom, hopefully. Hoya fuaensis, splashy leaves, crusty looking leaves, and a slow grower. Next we have Hoya multiflora. This one I got off of Etsy as a 2-leaf rooted plant starter, and since then it has grown all of this, and it's a thin leaf Hoya. And the bottom leaves, this was sitting very close to the grow light, and since I moved it a little further out from the grow light, it has produced nice dark green leaves. I'm hoping that this will, continue growing, and then hopefully bloom. This one is supposed to be an easy bloomer and a quick bloomer, and it's supposed to have the the shooting star like flowers. So I'm really excited. Once it puts on a little bit more height, I'm thinking to do a chop and prop on this one as well. It came in a chunky substrate, so I just left it in a chunky substrate. But I think once I do the chop, I think I'm gonna prop it in water and then transfer it into semi-hydro. But yeah, easy going, very, it's one of the terrestrial Hoyas, meaning it just grows on the ground, kind of like has a shrubby habit. Very easy going, thin leafed, Hoya multiflora. Next we have Hoya densifolia. This beauty also is a thin-leafed Hoya, and I found this on Facebook Marketplace from a local grower, and she was super nice and sweet. She runs a small plant business from her propagations from home, and I got this from her, and yeah, it seems to be doing really well. I left it in its chunky substrate, and all of this and this is new growth. So I would say that this is a fairly fast growing Hoya. It sits under a grow light, slightly away from the light, not directly under it, and has been growing up a storm. So I'm excited about this. This one also is on the chop and prop list, and I think I would like to transfer this also into semi-hydro eventually, but we'll see. We'll see for now. But yeah, this is Hoya densifolia. Up next is Hoya latifolia, outer variegated. I got this as a two-leafed cutting way back in the day in 2021 from a local grower on Facebook Marketplace, and since then it has produced all of these vines and leaves, and it has even flowered for me. So that was super exciting, that was in last year. I should have pictures. I'll try to see if I can insert them in here, but it has these ginormous leaves, almost the size of my palm, and has the venation, the texture, the variegation. Sorry about the watermarks. We do have hard water, so these are the hard water stains. But yeah, this is, in soil. I put seashells from when we used to go to the beach in Virginia, and this is Hoya latifolia, outer variegated, easygoing. Almost forgot this beauty. This is Hoya carnosa, the regular OG classic lady. I got this as an itty bitty plant in a 4-inch container back in 2021, and since then it just grew and grew and grew, and I did not know what to do with it. It was trailing for the longest time, and then I decided that it was just too difficult to manage with all the vines going everywhere. So I put it on this circle round trellis, and it sits in a north-facing window in the bathroom. And yeah, it's easy going, easy growing, nonchalant plant. Has not bloomed for me yet, but this year I'm gonna do the experiment with putting it in the dark for I think 12 hours, and then exposing it to bright indirect light for 12 hours and see if we get this baby to bloom. But yeah, this is Hoya carnosa. Almost forgot this. Up next we have this beautiful lush Hoya wayetii. I got this from a big box store maybe 2 years ago, and it's a hanging basket, and it hangs by an east facing window, and it has really thick succulent lanceolate leaves, and it has these beautiful outer dark margins which are super pretty, and it has tons of vines and aerial roots. Look at that, it's just crazy. But yeah, it's very nonchalant. I water it once in a while when the pot feels light, and it's been a very easy grower. It does succumb to mealybugs every now and then. Looks like we have some, and I need to treat it quickly. But when I was watering it recently, I did notice that there is a peduncle, which is exciting. It's getting ready. But yeah, need to treat it for mealybugs. I've taken multiple baby cuttings. So we have baby pots in different substrates because I wanted to kind of like do an experiment and see how they do in different substrates. This still is in a pot that it came in, so it probably would like a repot at some point, but I'm not gonna dare to do that right now with the peduncle and everything. But yeah, it's very easy growing, nonchalant, but it does need pest maintenance every now and then. Hoya wayetii. This is a baby Hoya wayetii. I took propagations from the mother plant and rooted them in water, and then potted them up in a chunky substrate in a cute little terracotta planter with a round copper trellis. I really love the look of Hoyas in terracotta planters with copper trellises, but it can be a little tricky with the watering, but this one has done really well. I do prefer semi-hydro for my level of care in my conditions, but this one has given me no grief. Just, you know, does phenomenally well. And the new leaves are this beautiful dark burgundy color. And it just, you know, continues to grow really well. Hoya wayetii. This chaotic lady is Hoya crassipetiolata, and I did not dare to take it out of this shelf because it has twined itself all around. But I got this as a full basket. And 2 years ago maybe, and it has just grown crazily. It sends out these vines that kind of wrap themselves around everything. Sorry about the shelf, it needs a cleaning to do this week. But yeah, Hoya crassipetiolata is a thin-leafed Hoya, I would say, and it's a very easy grower. Has these beautiful veins, kind of reminiscent of Finlaysonii or what's the other one, the Callistophila, but less demanding, less challenging. These marks are from when the grow light fell and kind of scorched the leaves. But yeah, Hoya crassipetiolata, very beautiful Hoya and an easy Hoya. This is a propagation of the Hoya crassipetiolata. Just have this in a tiny little baby hanging pot. It sits by a south-facing window, but this is how it would look like if it was trellised-ish. But again, it's, you know, very beautiful. Like, look at the shiny new leaves. Look at the venation, look at the texture, look at the coloring. And you know, the biggest factor is that it is just very easy growing. Easy going and easy growing, I would say. Hoya crassipetiolata. Up next, we have Hoya Sunrise. I got this beauty as a 2-leaf cutting in 2023, Feb of 2023, and since then it has grown all of these beautiful vines and leaves. So it's safe to say that this is a fast grower, very easy maintenance. It's supposed to get super pretty sun-stressed colors when it gets high, bright and direct light, but I haven't done that, so I'm gonna do an experiment starting this week and move it under my Borina grow lights and see how well it sun stresses and gets the colors. And I'll do an update video on that just for, you know, tracking purposes. But yeah, it's a very fast growing, chill, nonchalant Hoya. The leaves have these venations and they're fairly thin, and yeah, it's in lacquer and pond in a self-watering recycled, upcycled container, and has these beautiful glossy leaves. And really appreciate how easy of a grower this is. Hoya Sunrise. Alright, looks like this would be the last one of my favorites and a classic for a good reason. This is Hoya Chelsea. Chelsea is such a sweet plant. It has these roundish heart-shaped leaves that are like super dark and glossy, and it trails beautifully. And I wanted to get a full pot for a long time, and I immediately snatched one when I found a nice basket of it at one of the local stores when we were visiting Rochester in 2023. And since then it has put on all of these vines, so that's exciting. It has not flowered for me yet. It does get mealybugs every now and then, and I do have to treat it for that. But I did take multiple propagations, and we do have little pots around the house with Hoya Chelsea. It's a really fun, beautiful plant, a classic, and yeah, look at how beautiful the leaves are. Yeah, Hoya Chelsea. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching all the 82 Hoyas in my collection. I have been on a Hoya kick of late, so I did get a couple new Hoyas, so stay tuned to see the new additions to the Hoya family, and see you in the next one. Bye!